How are you doing? So I actually made index cards for this, and it's a group that I do regularly. It's attachment. And I wanted to share it with you, and then I started reading it off to staff members, and they were like, this is so boring. I can't believe you're doing this. So I decided to change it up a little bit, and I'm going to go through a couple things. First of all, my name's Megan. I'm the clinical director here. I've been here for about 5 years. I started as a primary therapist, and I've been in the clinical director position for about 2 years now. I love what I do. I love working with addicts and alcoholics. I share the same disease, or according to attachment, basically it basically explains addiction as an insecure attachment style, which I'll get into. But I really appreciate you guys being here. I appreciate what you guys do every single day. The first year is so hard, and they're emotionally up and down, and I wouldn't want to go back there. But thank you for listening to me, and let me know if I get a little bored. I'm going to be writing on the board because I want you guys to follow along with me. Everyone there? Everyone paying attention? All right. So, it's okay that I'm not using the microphone, right? So first I'm going to go through Erikson's 8 developmental stages. Now these are based off of Freud's psychosexual stages. It's a little controversial, but these are more about the social environment. So he basically says that you have to master these conflicting ideas in order to become a well-adjusted adult in society, okay, and a contributing member of society. So the first stage is trust versus mistrust. Now this is from 0 to 12 months, okay? So this is the first stage. This is pre-verbal. This is right side of your brain. These are all experiences that you don't have words for, so you can't formulate memories, but you did experience it. So back in the day we thought, let a baby cry, they won't remember anything. That's wrong. They actually do remember, well, their body remembers anyway. So this initial stage basically has to do with your primary caregiver. If your primary caregiver meets your needs consistently and in the right amount of time, then you develop a trust for the world. I can now trust the world around me. If you do not have an attentive primary caregiver, say they're preoccupied with their own past traumas, or they didn't have a good attachment style with their primary caregiver, they actually are taught that they cannot trust the world around them. So that's actually a belief system that happens before you can even develop words for memories. Interesting, right? All right. The second one is autonomy versus shame and doubt. Now, this is ages 1 to 3. These are the potty training years. This is when you start developing control of your bodily functions and the environment around you. If you do not master this stage and your parents do not assist you in learning how to potty train, explore the environment, you actually develop feelings of shame and doubt, and you feel inadequate or inferior, okay? So then if you have parents that are overly rigid, and they're like, you have to do it by age 2, which is crazy, then you might become overly organized, OCD, rigid in your adult life, okay? Third stage, initiative versus guilt. So this is ages 3 to 6. This is preschool age. This is basically a parent allowing a child to explore the environment around them, okay? And if they don't allow them to do that and they have overbearing parents, they may develop a sense of guilt. You know, like when children don't want to leave their parents because they feel guilty? That's what they're talking about here. I give the example, actually it's more like this stage. My first child, I actually bought him a walking helmet because I was scared that he was going to hurt his head walking, like learning how to walk, which isn't really a thing, but it had, you know, Mickey Mouse ears and everything. It was very cute for pictures, but everyone thought I was crazy, which it is kind have them learn Untitled, whatever, they're going to be more well-adjusted adults. That's what I think, anyway. So my first child is screwed. Anyone here a first child? All right, I'm sorry for all of you. But your parents didn't know better. We don't have a book, okay? So the fourth stage is industry versus inferiority. Now this is 6 to 12. This is school age. Do I feel a part of the people at school, or do I feel inferior? Now I've heard a lot of addicts and alcoholics feeling inferior, feeling like they don't belong, feeling different. Did anyone here feel that way? Probably feel that way now, right? Being different is good. Maybe not in school, because that's a bad age, but it's good to be unique. Anyway, if you didn't master this stage in school, this could contribute to your need to use substances, and I'm going to get into attachment and how it relates to the need to use substances to regulate the chemicals in the brain. But I don't want to confuse you. Okay, so then there's the fifth stage, identity versus role confusion. You guys didn't think you were going to learn a lot tonight, huh? All right, identity versus role confusion. This is 12 to 18. This is what we know as adolescence, okay? I have the example that I basically had every hair color possible through this stage and after, because I actually did start using during adolescence, so it kind of stunted that growth right there. So then people in early recovery may be going through this stage, identity versus role confusion. We're trying on different roles. Do I want black hair? I had purple hair, black hair, red hair, blue hair. I was preppy, wearing sweater vests. I was punk. I was a hipster. I didn't know what I was, okay? I would mismatch. People used to call that like posers, I think. I don't know. Anyway, if you're going through that, it's okay. Okay? Give yourselves a break. Intimacy versus isolation. So this is like 18 to 40s. This is when you're supposed to find somebody to form an intimate relationship with. That doesn't mean sex. That actually means sharing. I mean, it doesn't only mean sex. It could involve sex. But it means sharing yourself intimately with someone, trusting someone enough to securely attach to them and trust them. Okay? If you're not doing that, and I don't want to speak for all of you, but I know a lot of addicts and alcoholics, when they're active in their addiction, they're isolating, right? Because that drug and drink is predictable. If I take this pill, this will happen. If I drink this drink, this is the outcome. People are not predictable. The substance takes away the trust that we have in human beings, and the whole point of being here together is interconnectedness. We are supposed to connect one another. It is the point of being here. We need to connect. No one is an island. Got it? 7. Generativity versus stagnation. So this is like 40s to 60s. Our life expectancy is a lot higher than when this was developed, so it could be a little bit older, give or take a few years. This basically means you are mentoring and training the future generations to take your role in life. Like if you're retiring, you're mentoring people. For me, I mentor interns who want to become therapists. For you guys, helping somebody work through the steps. That's actually giving back to the community. That actually helps build your self-esteem. How do we create our self-esteem, our self-image? Through the reflection of others. That's why group therapy works. So you're all doing that by giving back to the community. If you do not do this, you become stagnant. Got it? Okay. Last stage, and then I'm moving on to attachment. Let me know how I am on time. Okay. Integrity versus despair. This is the life review. 60s to end of life. This could actually be like 70s, 80s to end of life. This is when you're reviewing your life and you're saying, did I do a good job? Am I happy with what I have done? Am I happy with what I've accomplished? And if you're not, and you don't master the stage, then you go into despair, and a lot of elderly people are actually taking antidepressants. And if you don't take antidepressants when you're elderly, sometimes that looks like dementia. Just a little extra information. So why am I teaching you this? Anyone know? Yes.
The way to like integrate back into society and trust people.
Good job. Yes. Way to integrate back into society and trust people. Now, I've identified problems for you, and I'm not going to just do that. I'm going to give you solutions as well. So I'm going to go to attachment now. Attachment theorists, and attachment theory was created by or founded by Bowlby, John Bowlby, okay? And he actually believes that that insecure attachment styles actually contribute to substance use disorders. Why? Because imagine, I don't even need to hold this. Imagine I'm holding a little baby. Picture a baby. You guys picturing a baby? Like an infant? A little baby. I'm attaching biologically. It's a rewarding experience for both of us. This is the first stage of Erikson's developmental stages. I'm the mother. I'm looking at my baby. Every kiss, every hug, every time I change the baby's diaper, every time I look in his eyes and I talk to him, whatever, I'm developing the right side of his brain. I am teaching him that he can trust the world around him, and I'm actually creating chemicals that mock the opioid alkaloids in the brain, okay, to form a neurotransmitter high, okay? And as addicts and alcoholics, we all like to feel high, right? High on life. This is actually a necessary chemical that you're supposed to have throughout life. It's really biological from an evolutionary context for survival of the species. So that's like the same reason why sometimes we accidentally have sex with people, right? And then have babies. That's actually biological. We have pheromones in place because if we planned every sexual encounter, we would become extinct, right? Because we're supposed to procreate. We're supposed to keep the survival of the species. So, biologically, I'm creating this happy chemical in this baby's brain, right? And he's actually creating a happy chemical in my brain because it's supposed to be a mutually rewarding relationship. Now, if this baby didn't have an attentive caregiver, and like I said, back in the day, we thought, let a baby cry, they won't remember anything. Now, with new neuroscience technologies, we know that actually the brain is built starting from the reptilian brain, starting from birth, okay? So, the baby does not have a secure attachment style, does not have that chemical in the brain, and then when they use their first substance during adolescence, there's mom. There is the feeling that I have been longing for my entire life. I feel like the person I was meant to be. Okay, I gave you an issue, right? So we've all felt that way when we've used substances. A solution. Do you guys remember the solution? Basically, go ahead. It's so simple, right? He's looking at his notes. Okay, the solution is you have to form a secure attachment with someone. You could do it with a primary therapist, and it actually, research suggests this. So I recommend long-term individual treatment, and that is because you're talking with someone. It's a mutually rewarding experience. You're trusting someone with your innermost thoughts. You have a secure base, which is what a primary caregiver is supposed to be. So that therapist is stepping in and reparenting you in a way. It's creating those neural pathways on the right side of your brain and creating those happy chemicals in your brain to actually enable you to go out and form secure attachments with other people.